As promised in my previous video, I said I was going to explain to you guys how to build a mid-range gaming system. The Dell Precision 3630 is a perfect example of this. They come with 3 different power supplies. The first one, the lowest wattage, does not support any video cards. The next level up supports mid-range cards, and the highest level supports high-end cards. This unit has a few USB ports in the front, and one of them is USB Type-C. In a minute, I'll open it up and show you the internal composition. This particular unit has a RTX 2060, and what I like about the Dell Precision 3630 is that it has an NVMe slot on board. Also, it's the perfect size considering that it's on the smaller side, but it still supports most video cards. Okay, I took the cover off, and as you can see, it's very compact. It can support 3 hard drives, and there's also a NVMe slot. This particular one is 500 gigabytes. The GPU here is the RTX 2060, and it's powered by a mid-range power supply. I wouldn't put any GPU that's the 3080 or above because of their power consumption. So now I'm going to close the cover and show you the back of the system before we run some benchmarks. Okay, now looking at the back of this unit, you can see there's plenty of USB ports. There's also a couple of display ports which are not going to be utilized in this video because we have the 2060 installed in here. There's also a Wi-Fi card which supports the antennas. And now I'm going to power this up and run some benchmarks. Also, keep in mind that if you buy this, there's most likely going to be a Windows 11 Pro key installed into the BIOS, so purchasing a key is unnecessary. Before we run the benchmarks, let's look at all the components that make this a medium-budget gaming PC. The first major component is the processor. This unit has an i7-9700, and it's a decent CPU that pairs well with the 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory and the RTX 2060. The NVMe helps a lot with loading speeds and allows your PC to run faster overall. One of the things that doesn't impact this build at all is the networking, especially considering that it's more ideal to connect your computer to Ethernet anyway. Now, let's talk about the pricing. The tower with just the CPU and motherboard would be around $150. Then add another $150 for the CPU. This gets you to $300, and then add the cost of the memory to make the total $330. After this, you would need to purchase the GPU for $120, and then the NVMe drive for another $40. This totals out to only $490. And the best part is that you can buy it from us for only $390. Check out the linked listings from our Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist pages. Okay, here are the results of user benchmark. As you can see, it's a pretty good gaming PC, but it can also be used as a workstation, considering it has a strong CPU and decent GPU with enough memory, and the NVMe drive is also very capable of performing well. Okay, here are the results of the Blackmagic raw speed test. And it's not that bad. These results show that you can do some video editing on this unit, but it's still more centered for gaming. The last benchmark we ran is Cinebench. As you can see, it didn't perform the worst, but its performance still shows that it's not good for video rendering.
Built a empire.